From Red Zone Weather in Bruton, Alabama, with meteorologist Spinks Meganson. Severe weather coverage starts right now.
A tornado warning in effect for southern Washington County. Possible tornado near Fruitdale, coming into areas near Tibby, near the Alabama Highway 17 corridor over the next few minutes. Be taking action if you are in southern Washington County out ahead of this, as the Weather Service is now calling this a confirmed tornado in Washington County. Again, a tornado warning being issued for Washington County due to what the Weather Service is calling a confirmed tornado coming into areas near Tibby right now. So again, watching this situation in Washington County very carefully. Possible tornado is going to be right in through here, just to the south of Chatham, and this is a confirmed tornado. I'm so used to saying possible tornado, but this is a confirmed tornado doing damage in Washington County, and this is basically moving due east. And so on this trajectory, this is going to be near Sunflower and Wagerville over the next few minutes. Again, a tornado on the ground in Washington County at this point, and this is a situation where we need folks in Tibby, Alabama, to be in your tornado safe place. So again, this is a very serious situation happening in Washington County with a tornado on the ground. Let's see if we can see it on the debris tractor, the debris tracker here. We'll zoom in on this product, and yeah, there it is. That blue dot may not look like much, but that is a tornado doing damage on the ground coming into Tibby, Alabama. So if you're at Tibby or Seaboard, you need to be taking shelter, as we have a confirmed tornado on the ground doing damage in Washington County, pushing off to the east. This is a confirmed tornado doing damage, and this is a very, very serious situation. And so we would encourage you to be in your tornado safe place right now in Tibby. This is going to pass to the south of Chatham, coming out towards Sunflower and the community of McIntosh over the next few minutes. So if you know anyone in Washington County, call them and let them know that we have a confirmed tornado on the ground doing damage in Washington County at this point. While we look at that, I also want to go over to the velocity view, and yeah, this thing is just really wrapped up at this point, coming into Tibby right now. Current time is 2:45 in the morning. I realize it's inconvenient, but look, you know, you could be the hero that saves someone's life, and if you are in this area, we need you to call folks around you, call your neighbors, call your friends, let them know that we have a confirmed tornado on the ground doing damage at this point, as this thing is going to be very near Tibby and Seaboard over the next few minutes. Out ahead of this, you're looking at McIntosh and Sunflower and Wagerville in this active tornado warning that's in effect for Washington County in West Alabama. Again, this is strictly an issue for Washington County, Alabama at this point. There is no tornado warning for Clark County at the moment. Should this continue, this could be an issue for southern Clark County, all right? So watching this situation very carefully in West Alabama as we track this confirmed tornado, what the Weather Service is calling a confirmed tornado happening in West Alabama, specifically near the community of Tibby, right in through here on Alabama Highway 17. That is where we are seeing indications of this confirmed tornado happening. And yeah, there it is. There's the debris signature. That blue dot that you see on our debris tracker indicates a lowering in the correlation coefficient, and that is a tornado about to cross Alabama Highway 17 near Tibby. So again, for folks in Tibby, please, it cannot be stressed enough, be in a safe place. If you know anyone in Tibby, Alabama, it can't be stressed enough. Call them, text them, tag them in the comments below. This is an extremely dangerous situation in Washington County as this confirmed tornado passes just to the south of Chatham coming into areas near Seaboard. And so again, this is moving to the east very rapidly at about 50 miles per hour. This tornado is wasting no time pushing off to the east in Washington County. And this is a deal where we're going to see some damage. We know we're going to see damage because this is a tornado that's on the ground doing damage at this point. And that correlation coefficient continues to be quite low. And so again, for folks in Tibby, we encourage you to be in your tornado safe place right now. Let's actually show you what's happening across the entirety of the local area, because this is the only tornado warning that we have ongoing as of 2:48 a.m. So again, Washington County is the hot spot as of 2:48 a.m. on this Wednesday morning. And don't try to see this thing. I know that the sky is being illuminated by lightning, but this is a deal where you're not going to be able to see this tornado. It's rain wrapped, there's no doubt about that. And so we would encourage folks in Washington County to remain in their safe place. In fact, the Weather Service just sent a message in NWS chat that a significant tornado remains on the ground near State Highway 17, near Tibby, and so it can't be stressed enough. Please be in a safe place in Seaboard, in Tibby, in areas like Sunflower and Wagerville over in West Alabama, as we have this confirmed tornado right here, confirmed on the ground, doing damage, moving basically due east at 50 miles per hour. This is quickly going to become an issue for areas near Sunflower and US Highway 43 over the next few minutes. Large hail is likely falling right now near Chatham, but the tornado threat is a bit to the south of Chatham, near Tibby, coming into Sunflower. So again, we're tracking this tornado warning in Washington County. And again, this is the only warning that we have on the board as of 2:49 a.m., tracking a confirmed tornado doing damage in Washington County, south of Chatham, approaching US Highway 43 from the west. And again, we would encourage folks in Tibby, please remain sheltered as there is a confirmed tornado nearby as of now. This also is going to be an issue for areas near Wagerville and also areas near Malcolm as well. The community of Malcolm actually is, I apologize, McIntosh is what I meant to say. It's very early in the morning. I apologize. McIntosh is actually now out of the tornado warning polygon. The Weather Service has trimmed this back, and it looks like this thing is basically going to move due east towards Sunflower and Wagerville along US Highway 43. Again, this is a supercell thunderstorm out ahead of the main batch of thunderstorms that's slated to move through a bit later. You can see storms organizing up here near the near the Interstate 59 corridor, and these storms are pushing to the southeast. So this is your main batch of thunderstorms tonight, but the supercells out ahead of it have been the ones that have been rotating. And so certainly looking at a situation where folks in Washington County need to be taking action to protect yourself, as we continue to track this confirmed tornado very near Tibby, moving into areas near Sunflower and Wagerville. Again, be in a safe place. This does not include Milry, all right? If you're up here at Milry or Yarbo, you are not involved in this active tornado warning. Same thing at Bigby, same thing at Salitpa. Jackson, you're out. This is going to pass to your south. And again, we're watching this situation very carefully as we have a tornado warning in Washington County, Alabama. You are not under a tornado warning in our local area anyway, in South Alabama or Northwest Florida, unless you are in Washington County, Alabama. That is the only county that has a tornado warning at this point. It has been a long day for all of us across the region as we've been tracking severe thunderstorms, particularly farther inland, but even in areas to our north. It's been a long day with several tornadoes noted. And again, the reason we are here is because of this tornado warning that's happening in Washington County, Alabama. Current time is 2:52 a.m. I'm meteorologist Spinks Meganson, and currently doing the coverage solo, but we will have a producer walking in just a bit. And so pardon me as I sit down to kind of manage all the screens around me. We have so much information going on coming into the studio that it's kind of hard to manage without sitting down and being able to look around at this until we have a producer walk in. And so again, a tornado warning continues until 3:15 a.m. for Washington County, specifically for Tibby, Sunflower, and Wagerville. This does include a part of U.S. Highway 43. And so U.S. Highway 43 is involved in this active tornado warning, specifically south of Wagerville and also north of McIntosh. All right, so north of McIntosh, south of Wagerville, involved in this active tornado warning. And again, there's no reason to panic, but you do need to be taking action to protect yourself, putting on a helmet, getting to the lowest floor of a site-built structure, away from windows and away from doors, putting as many walls as you can between you and the outside world. It is imperative that children and adults are in a helmet. Helmet's the best possible thing you can do to protect yourself whenever we have tornado warnings. And unfortunately, we get all these nighttime tornado warnings this time of year, and this is just one more to add to our collection that we have had this year. You know, we have had, I think we're up to like 14 tornado warning days in 2022. In other words, a 24-hour period with at least one tornado warning. We've had about 14 of those so far this year. This will be, I think, the 15th day, and so it's been a very active year. We had all those tornado warnings back in the spring, had a severe weather event about a month ago, and now we're looking at another severe weather event with this confirmed tornado happening in Washington County. Let's go back over to the velocity view, and yeah, right there, that's going to be your tornado. We'll give Tibby an all clear in the next 3 minutes. Let's give it 3 more minutes, and I'll give you an all clear in Tibby. And I see that the Weather Service has extended the tornado watch to the south. We'll come back to that. We got to stay with this warning though. Possible tornado is going to be right in through here, coming into areas near Hawthorne, Sunflower, and also Wagerville, and this community of, I believe it's pronounced Toinette there, and I apologize if I mispronounced that. But again, Sunflower, Wagerville, Hawthorne being a safe place. Same thing along U.S. Highway 43. Possible tornado is right here in Washington County, just to the east of Tibby at this point, just to the north of Seaboard. This is to the southeast of Chatham, just to the south of the Roy Wilcox Airport there in Chatham, and this is pushing off to the east towards Sunflower very, very rapidly at 50 miles per hour. So again, we encourage everyone to be in a safe place in the communities that you see on your screen in this red box. In other words, this is your tornado warning polygon. It's really an interesting thing because Washington County is a rather large county by area over here in West Alabama, but the beauty of the polygon system is that we include folks, the Weather Service includes folks who are involved in the danger zone in this polygon, and it leaves folks out who are not involved. And so again, this is strictly an issue for areas near Hawthorne. You've also got Sunflower, Wagerville involved in this as well. Good news is we can give Tibby an all clear. Tibby, all clear. You took a direct hit from this confirmed tornado in Tibby a moment ago. Let's actually go back over to our debris tracker product. And yeah, that is a classic TDS, tornadic debris being lofted high into the sky right here just to the west of Sunflower. That is a dangerous signature. This is a tornado on the ground, and there is just a potent signature here on correlation coefficient. In other words, what's happening here, the radar is looking out and it's assessing what's consistent with rainfall in terms of size versus what's consistent with debris that's being lofted up into the sky. And so what we're seeing here is a strong, potentially violent tornado coming into Sunflower. Wouldn't be shocked if this is a strong tornado, a big tornado coming into Sunflower. If you know anyone at all in this area, you need to call them. wake them up, let them know there is imminent danger. And I hope you can hear it in my voice. This is as serious of a situation as we've seen in quite some time. Potentially large tornado right here coming into these areas. So again, please take it seriously over here in Washington County. Nocturnal, nighttime tornadoes are very scary, but they're also very hard to see. And so please, I would just, stress, do not go out and try to see this thing. I mean, this is, we're in the middle of the night. It's almost 3 a.m. In 2 minutes it will be. And for folks in Washington County, you are under the gun from this possible tornado. So again, watching this situation carefully. Let's go back out across the region and I'll show you we have no other warnings other than this severe thunderstorm, supercell thunderstorm that's happening in Washington County, pushing in from the west. This is pushing off to the east very rapidly, and I have to tell you, on this trajectory, this is going to be an issue for southern Clark County near Carlton if it holds its strength, and I suspect that it might over the next few minutes. Let's go over to the iPad view, and I think I'll be able to show you that debris signature a little bit more clearly. And it has sort of progressed a bit. Right in through here is actually going to be your tornado debris signature. So right there is your tornado, and this is rapidly approaching US Highway 43. Again, don't play with this. Don't think that you're gonna outrun it. Don't try to get in your car. That's a horrible idea. We would encourage you be in a safe place now if you are in Sunflower, specifically in West Alabama. Just looking at our chat coming in from the Weather Service, as we have a tornado warning that continues until 3:15 a.m. for Washington County in West Alabama. And again, this is a situation where folks in Sunflower, it just can't be stressed enough. I know I'm repeating myself, but look, that's why we're here. We want you to be sheltered and take this seriously. If you are in the community of Sunflower right there on US Highway 43, same thing at Hawthorne. This thing is going to be approaching 43 basically in the next 2 minutes, all right? So take it seriously. Do something about it if you are in these areas. Again, this is a tornado on the ground doing damage. Big deal over here in West Alabama. And let's put the radar in motion and show you where this came from. This actually originated over in Mississippi, and this storm has since progressed rapidly to the east and is now in central Washington County, Alabama. Large hail possible shortly in Wagerville, Jackson, and in Leroy. All right, Leroy is right here on the map near US Highway 43. Large hail, upwards of ping pong ball size hail, is possible as this storm continues working its way to the east. It is now after 3 a.m., 3:01 a.m. specifically. I'm meteorologist Spinks Megginson. You're watching live Red Zone Weather severe weather coverage as we have a tornado on the ground in Washington County as we continue to track a situation where we could see significant damage. The tornadic debris signature on this has been quite pronounced over the last few frames, and the Weather Service continues to show that we have a tornado warning here. They just updated the polygon yet again, and I'm joined alongside executive producer Bentley Martin. She is with us now. We certainly want to thank her for being here. If you will take me back over to LD1, I accidentally hit that just now. We'll go back over to LD1 and we'll show you, there we go, that we have a tornado on the ground in Washington County. So again, right in through here is where we have a TDS, tornadic debris signature. And what that means is debris is being lofted high into the sky. And so take this seriously in Washington County as we have a confirmed tornado doing damage on the ground coming into Sunflower and Toinette and also areas near Hawthorne over the next few minutes. And Bentley, if you will carefully watch those Facebook comments, I know that obviously it's the middle of the night and a lot of folks are asleep, but I hope the folks in Sunflower are awake, as this is a very dire situation. As we know that there's a tornado on the ground, or there was moments ago anyway. I'm actually going to send out a special hyperlocal alert for people in this area in our Red Zone Weather app. We can actually target folks who are in a specific geographic area. Let's see if we can go to the reflectivity product. There we go. And what I'm going to say is that this is a large, potentially large tornado. You're hearing the keys in the background there as I type. As we're sending an all caps message for the folks in this area specifically, as we have a tornado on the ground doing damage at this point. Current time is 3:03 a.m. and this is a supercell thunderstorm over here in West Alabama that has prompted this tornado warning, but you see we've got a severe thunderstorm warning surrounding that. And so large hail is also a concern in this area. Specifically coming into Jackson and Leroy, you could have upwards of ping pong ball sized hail moving in from the west. And you know the drill, Bentley. If you'll just interrupt me if you see anything in those comments. This is a very serious situation over in West Alabama. Current time 3:04 a.m. I'm meteorologist Spinks Meganson, and we are here because of this tornado happening in Washington County. Let's zoom out and show you the entire region just to say that we do not have any other issues ongoing at this point across northwest Florida, south central Alabama, or Mobile and Baldwin counties. We actually do have a new tornado watch to tell you about. So this is a new tornado watch that has just been issued, and it's actually an extension of the previous watch. And so let's actually turn off our radar data and show you our watches and warnings. Main line of storms getting set to roll through our area over the next 5 to 6 hours. I think it'll be quicker than that, really. But here's the deal. If I call you out, you're now involved in a new tornado watch, and this is going to be valid until 6 a.m. Mobile, Baldwin, Escambia, Covington, those are the new counties involved in the tornado watch. So a new tornado watch for Mobile, Baldwin, Escambia, and Covington counties now involved in the tornado watch. Wouldn't be shocked to see Northwest Florida go under the tornado watch a bit later, but just know those counties now under the tornado watch. We also have a new severe thunderstorm warning to tell you about. This is a new severe thunderstorm warning, and this is just now coming on the board in the last 2 to 3 minutes, and let's see what time. This goes until 4 a.m. local time. Severe thunderstorms moving in from the north. Let's look at it. There's your main batch of storms this evening setting up over Mississippi. What's going to happen, it's going to be interesting to see. We're probably going to see sort of a merger of these two lines potentially in the next little bit. And what we could have is damaging straight line winds coming in through here into West Alabama in places like Chatham, Jackson, really the same areas that were affected by the tornado warning, like Tibby and Fruitdale even, over the next few minutes. So again, a new severe thunderstorm warning for Washington and Clark counties, including areas near Jackson, Toddtown, Carlton, Gainestown, all the way up to Grove Hill and Watley, involved in that new severe thunderstorm warning, valid until 4 a.m. local time. While we look at that, let's go back into our tornado warning. This thing's getting tiny, and the The reason for that, this is our tornado warning box. The Weather Service is trimming this back. Possible tornado is now at Sunflower and Toinette, coming into areas out here toward the rivers. All right, this is going to be the swampland out between Washington and Clark counties. But again, for folks in Sunflower, you need to be sheltered. No doubt about it. Remain sheltered. At this point, we can give Hawthorne an all clear. Same thing at Seaboard. Tornado all clear for now. Now, the risk continues, but if you are in Hawthorne, Seaboard, or Sunflower, you get an all, or excuse me, I apologize. I said Sunflower. What I meant to say was Seaboard. Seaboard gets the all clear. Sunflower is still in the warning. I misspoke. Sunflower is still in the warning. Same thing at Toinette, involved in the active tornado warning. Yeah, and the Weather Service is indicating that this is weakening at this point. And so, and look, if I play this back, you'll see that this, as it was coming across Washington County, was much stronger. But now you can see that this cell has weakened somewhat. This is clearly becoming more of a damaging straight line wind threat. And so it's not a good thing to get damaging straight line winds, but it is a good thing to get rid of a tornado. And so it looks like that's what's happening. Tell you what, if you'll take me back over to the radar scope source, please, if you have that up, and we'll show you that, yeah, I mean, it's just as clear as day that this is becoming a damaging straight line wind threat right in through here. Tornado did damage back here towards Tibby, but now this is evolving and becoming a damaging straight line wind threat. And look, over the next several hours, I do think that we're going to see more in the way of damaging straight line winds than we are tornadoes, which is a good thing. We're going to evolve. It's been a tornado day across much of the Deep South, but what's going to happen is we're going to see more damaging straight line winds most likely in the hours ahead as the better dynamics of this weather system kind of move away. Take me back over to LD1, please, ma'am, and we will put this in motion and go back to the classic radar view because this is ultimately going to be your main line of storms. I certainly believe that now based on what's happening. Looks like this is going to evolve into somewhat of a squall line that pushes across our region, and these storms back here continue to kind of fade away. I suspect what will happen, your tornado watch is ultimately going to be canceled for places like Laurel and Meridian as the severe weather threat is coming to a close back here. And it looks like we actually have a tornado warning near Montgomery. Let's check that out. If I can change our site here to the Maxwell Air Force Base site. Yeah, this is a tornado warning that's in effect for parts of Autauga and Elmore counties, and this does include part of northern Montgomery County as well. So again, a possible tornado near Prattville. In fact, let's see if the Weather Service in Birmingham, yeah, they're calling it a radar indicated tornado. So they do not have a confirmation on that, thankfully, just yet. Hopefully it won't produce a tornado, but nonetheless, the evidence is quite high that there very well could be a tornado very near Prattville and Millbrook coming into Wetumpka right now. So what that means is if you know someone at Prattville, Millbrook, Coushatta, also areas near Wetumpka, you need to call them. Lots of folks in this area on the northern side, the northern suburbs of the capital city of Alabama, Montgomery. Call those folks. This is a supercell that was in our area earlier. We covered this storm when it was back in Washington County, but this storm is producing a likely tornado near Prattville, near I-65, and near Wetumpka. So let's watch that one carefully as well. You got something for me? Yeah. And so watching this line of storms very carefully as this pushes to the south across central Alabama. Our line of storms, let's go back to our local radar here. Sorry, I had to change the radar site there. Our line of storms coming in from Mississippi very early on this Wednesday morning, 3:11 a.m. by the way. And we are here because of this tornado warning that's ongoing for the next few minutes anyway for Washington County. What they're doing, they're just going to let this ride until it goes out at at 3:15, which I think is probably the best call here, because again, this is a situation where we're going to see damaging straight line winds in this area, most likely regardless of if we see a brief tornado or not. And so again, the Weather Service is going to let this ride for the next few minutes, and we will kind of do an assessment at 3:15 a.m. and see what we've got going on and see if we're going to get any more imminent warnings. I don't think we will, imminently anyway, but this is really going to be the story tonight, and I say tonight, we're now into Wednesday morning, where we see these brief spin-up tornadoes. And look, you know, these things can do damage. We've seen damage happen in Washington County. There's no doubt about it. We had a tornado about 20 minutes ago in Tibby. We'll show you the correlation coefficient on that in just a minute, but we know that a tornado started somewhere here around Fruitdale and Tibby and kind of just crossed Washington County. Washington County is the tornado warning capital of the world, if you didn't know that. There are so many tornado watches and warnings over in Washington County, Alabama, more than pretty much anywhere else in the world. And so that's why we call it around here the tornado warning capital of the world. We just see, you know, numerous tornado warnings in that county. And again, watching this carefully, just checking our sources here to see what we've got going on and to see if we've got any damage reports coming in. Bentley, you seeing anything there on the Facebook Live comments? Yeah, and look, you know, it's tough, man, because it's 3:15 in the morning, all right? It's, you know, prime time for everybody to be asleep, most folks anyway, and it's going to be just really tough to get damage reports at this hour. I suspect that the first light of day is going to be quite revealing over here in Washington County near Tibby, because we know a tornado has happened. And so hopefully everyone in Tibby is okay, but we know that damage has happened because we saw that correlation coefficient drop pretty rapidly, and we want everyone in Washington County to remain safe as this comes to a close, this warning comes to a close anyway, as we had a confirmed tornado earlier. The Weather Service has indicated that they're going to let this warning go in the next few minutes in parts of Washington County. And so in the next few seconds, I should say, this is going to be a tornado warning that goes off the board, and then we will be down to a situation per se where we have severe thunderstorm warnings. And so in just a few seconds, we will get rid of that, and we will be without a tornado warning. And with that said, it is now 3:15 a.m. and we are without a tornado warning. It is off the board, and we now have severe thunderstorm warnings in place for West Alabama. If you're just now joining us, I'm meteorologist Spinks Meganson, joined alongside executive producer Bentley Martin. Certainly want to thank her for being here very, very early on this Wednesday morning. Severe thunderstorm warnings now in progress for parts of Clark and Washington counties. And for most folks, it's going to be a night where we see the potential for damaging straight-line winds across the region as these storms move by. The big change as of 3:15 a.m. is that we have new counties involved in the tornado watch. If you are in any part of Mobile County, Alabama, Baldwin County, Alabama, Escambia County, Alabama, or Covington County, Alabama, those four counties all now under a tornado watch, which means conditions are favorable for the development of tornadoes over the next few hours. So again, tornado watch expanded into those counties. You're now under the tornado watch. Let's go into our line of storms and see what we've got going on, because I wouldn't be shocked if we had a few more, maybe one or two more tornado warnings before the end of this event. The good news is I suspect, based on the look here, that the discrete isolated supercells are pretty much done for the night. This is now, I don't really know a better word to use here, but this is now congealing into a squall line that's ultimately going to move to the southeast over the next few hours. Let's go over to the radar scope source, please, ma'am, and show you the situation in Mississippi. I want to check on that tornado warning and that's mighty broad. And so I suspect that will be changed to a severe thunderstorm warning over in Mississippi. Let me actually have a look while we're on this source at what we've got going on elsewhere. Don't really see anything over in Mississippi that just screams tornado at this point, which is good. Same thing in Clark and Washington. This is counties, I should say. This is noise. I mean, this is the potential for damaging straight line winds is there, but we don't see any couplet trying to form imminently on the velocity view. While we're here, let's go check our storm north of Montgomery, and this is the most organized storm that we're looking at right now. That is straddling the Alabama River, very near Millbrook and Wetumpka. This is going to be an issue for the southern side of Wetumpka, coming into areas near Blue Ridge over the next few minutes. That probably produced a tornado very near Prattville and I-65 near Millbrook. This is just north of downtown Montgomery. Montgomery proper, in other words, downtown Montgomery, where the Capitol is and the taller buildings, not involved in this tornado warning. But there is a tornado warning about 5 miles north of there, near the Alabama River up here near Wetumpka and Millbrook. So those folks certainly need to be sheltered. If you know someone in Wetumpka, that is a classic supercell thunderstorm producing a likely tornado very near Wetumpka. Yeah, I appreciate that question, and thank you for relaying it. Let's go back over to LD1, and we'll show you the situation as it stands right now in West Alabama. Some questions coming in about driving and that sort of thing. And look, if you are in this severe thunderstorm warning box, in other words, this polygon, I would suggest just giving it a few minutes until this warning is over. And I say a few minutes, it may be more like 30 minutes as this storm continues to move off to the east. Let's kind of watch this together. There was your tornado warning. That's gone. No more tornado warning for now. But these storms are, you know, they're intense. They could be producing damaging straight line winds that could knock down a few trees potentially. And so, you know, if I were in your shoes, that's kind of how I do things around here. If I were in your shoes and I'm trying to get to work in Jackson, I would wait. Speaking of which, we got a new severe thunderstorm warning to tell you about. This is going to be a new severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for Monroe and Conecuh counties, parts of those counties anyway. And the first thing we need to do on this is get out a red zone weather app alert, because again, this is a new warning, and this is going to be for counties that have not been previously involved in warnings so far today. So again, we're calling a severe thunderstorm warning issued by the National Weather Service for parts of Monroe County, I should say, Monroe County. This is going to include Monroeville, Excel, Mexie, Frisco City, Uri, Purdue Hill, and surrounding areas in Monroe County. And this is going to be on the board. Let's see what time this expires. 4 a.m. local time, so 4 a.m. And this is a night when if you are involved in a severe thunderstorm warning, you need to treat it very seriously. You want to be inside, away from windows. You don't want to be driving. And so no driving at this point on US Highway 43 from Grove Hill back down to the Calvert AMNS former ThyssenKrupp plant. No driving on 84 from Repton back up to Grove Hill. So no driving on US Highway 84. And also no driving on Alabama Highway 21 south of Monroeville. All right, so no driving on 21 south of Monroeville. Possible damaging straight line winds coming in from the west. You got about 20 or really 20 minutes or so until this thing gets, you know, fairly close. And so again, no travel in, let's say 10 minutes. So you don't need to be traveling after 10 minutes from now on Alabama Highway 21. If you're on 21 right now, you're okay, as the storm is back in Clark County. But what I'm saying is, in 10 minutes, that danger is going to be approaching rapidly from the west. Same thing in Monroeville. Damaging straight line winds possible in Monroeville in about, say, 20 minutes or so. That storm is currently working its way through Jackson, Carlton, areas near Gainestown, also coming into areas near Gosport and Watley over the next few minutes. Very intense thunderstorm, could be producing hail up to quarter size as well. And so again, you just don't want to be out in this. What else are you seeing on our Facebook comments there, Bentley? Any power outages being reported? Yeah, and that's going to be, fairly common in a situation like this where these storms are dropping just copious amounts of rainfall. The rainfall rates in these storms tonight has just been off the charts. These are HP, or high precipitation supercells.
Got some reported tree damage in Alabama.
All right, so tree damage being reported over in West Alabama. Not surprising, as these storms that moved through Washington County really did a number. We had a likely, I say likely, it wasn't a likely, we had a confirmed tornado move through Tibby that did damage earlier, and that specific community has taken the hardest hit tonight so far from any community across our entire local area, as there was a confirmed tornado. Let's see if we can go back over, if you will, in just a second. Take me back to radar scope. Let me get that set up, because I do want to check on this storm in Mississippi. If you'll take me back over to the radar scope source, please, ma'am. Thank you. Looking at this storm in Greene County, Mississippi, the Weather Service is concerned about this, and they've prompted a severe thunderstorm warning for all parts of Greene and much of Washington County, Greene being in Mississippi, Washington being in West Alabama. And I tell you what, we're gonna keep our coverage going because of that signature right there. That's kind of a Boeing notch feature. And what happened last time was that we kind of had a Boeing feature in this supercell out ahead of, I should say, of this main batch of thunderstorms, and it ultimately started rotating a bit more, and thus we had that tornado form. And so I think this may be a bit different. This may be more of a damaging straight line wind deal as it comes into West Alabama, but let's just keep our coverage going for the next little bit. I'm seeing a report that we've got power out in Leroy, and I'm not surprised by that, as let's go back over to LB1. These storms that move through Leroy's right here in Washington County. These storms really did a number in Washington County. I wouldn't be shocked if the winds gusted to 60 and 70 miles per hour in some cases as these storms rocked on through. And the call to action is now out ahead of the storms in Gainestown, Aliska, Chrysler, Homewood, Purdue Hill, and areas near the Alabama River, right in through here, near Gosport as well. Mexie sits right there. Mexie Baptist Church is here. Frisco City, Excel, McGargle, Uri, Goodway, also involved in this severe thunderstorm warning. And so let's just keep it here for the next few minutes and kind of watch this thing back in Mississippi. We may get another tornado warning. And tell you what, let's see if we can briefly go to the regional radar view. I want to show you what's happening across the entire state. It should be mentioned that we do have an ongoing tornado warning for parts of Elmore County and also far northern Montgomery County, north of the city of Montgomery. That is the only tornado warning that we have anywhere across the state of Alabama as of 3:25 a.m. And I tell you what, and this is certainly relevant for you as well, I'm putting folks in Tallahassee and Auburn on notice. If this holds its strength, that's going to be an issue potentially in about 30 minutes for the greater Auburn, Alabama area. Same thing in Opelika, same thing at Lochapoka, same thing at Wire Road. All those areas, just know there's a tornadic supercell currently over Wetumpka, potentially doing damage, and this is going to be an issue potentially for Auburn in about 30 minutes. So let's kind of watch that one carefully. We got a lot of folks that we care deeply about in Auburn, and so we will kind of keep an eye on that as well. If you'll text your folks, I would with that signature, I would give my folks a heads up, certainly if you're in the greater Auburn, Alabama area. Tornado warning in Wetumpka. By the way, there's no warning out for Lee County, all right? Lee County is not under a tornado warning. That's where Auburn is right now, but it could go under a tornado warning in about 30 minutes with that signature. So let's kind of watch that together. As we continue to track these nasty thunderstorms. I tell you, I think any thunderstorm that has the audacity to form in the middle of the night is a bit more nasty than the ones that form in the daytime. We all hate the nighttime storms, me included. I really, I know that a lot of folks get all worked up about storms at night, and I promise you, I don't like them just as much as you do. But nonetheless, we've got to track them and keep you ahead of the game here as we continue to track these severe thunderstorms currently working their way through West Alabama. Let's kind of do a reset across our local area and tell you what we've got going on. Did you have something for me? Okay. All right, so watching storms right now happening in Washington, Clark, and Monroe counties. Those are the areas where we have severe thunderstorm warnings. If you are in Mobile or Baldwin counties, you're under a tornado watch, but you're not under any kind of warning as of now. Same thing in Northwest Florida. It's not that I'm ignoring you, but right now, Northwest Florida does not matter where you are. If you're in Northwest Florida, you are fine. There's nothing to worry about as of now. These storms will be rumbling through a bit later this morning. Same thing in Escambia County, Alabama, Covington, and Butler counties. You are A-OK right now. It's not that we're ignoring you, but we got big issues happening in West Alabama. And so first thing I want to do, let's kind of work this line from north to south. Heavy rain is happening right now along the Alabama Highway 41 corridor in northern Monroe County near Packers Bend, coming into areas near the Alabama River. You've also got a severe thunderstorm currently moving into Gainestown and Gosport from the west. This is ultimately going to end up in Monroeville and near Alabama Highway 21 in about, say, 15 minutes. It's going to be 15 minutes from now. So that means if you're in Mexie or Purdue Hill, it's going to get there in about 10 minutes. All right. So very heavy rain, lots of lightning, large hail possible coming into Gainestown. Damaging straight line winds are the reason that this severe thunderstorm warning continues to be in effect for Monroe County. Got a report coming in from Gainestown, which is in southern Clark, that the weather is, quote, getting rough. And that lines up perfectly with what we're seeing here on radar. Certainly appreciate all the reports coming in this evening. You are our eyes and ears on the ground. You make all this possible. Thank you so much. In fact, our Red Zone Weather sponsors are the ones who make all this possible. We certainly want to thank them for their support. These are the good folks up here in the top right corner of your screen that empower us to do this coverage at all hours of the night and all hours of the day, every single day in the Red Zone Weather app. Be sure to support our Red Zone Weather sponsors as we continue to track storms happening in southern Clark County. Carlton, currently under the gun from this nasty severe thunderstorm, could have upwards of 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts in through here as this storm moves into areas near Iliska and Chrysler over the next few minutes. Also got severe storms moving into Washington County from the west. What you got? Oh yeah, I believe it. I certainly believe it. Let's zoom in real tight. Because that's a hail core. There's no doubt about it. And if you will, or in fact I will, if you are reporting hail, it's important to give us a size, all right? So give us a hail size. In fact, I think if you will swivel that iMac graphics screen around, what I'll do is I'll put up a graphic to kind of help, no, the other one, to help be able to guide you if you're having hail at your house, and we got a report from Gainestown that we got some large hail happening. Thank you so much for doing that. That's perfect. We will get that graphic up in just a minute. But again, we got large hail falling at Gainestown, probably around quarter size based on the radar signature here. You see these higher DBZ values on reflectivity. This is indicative of hail that could be up to quarter size as the storm ultimately crosses the Alabama River in the next few minutes, coming into Monroe County. Let's look elsewhere across our region briefly, because I do want to check on these storms over in Washington County. Take me back to the iPad. This is going to be some nasty wind coming into southern Washington County from Leakesville in the next few minutes. So Leakesville is here. This is Greene County, Mississippi. This is George County. Mobile County is here. That's Washington County. And so southern Washington County could have rough wind in terms of 70-mile-per-hour wind impacts over the next few minutes. What you got? All right. So again, let's go back over to LD1. And it is very early in the morning on this Wednesday morning at 3:31 a.m. I'm meteorologist Spinks Megginson, joined alongside executive producer Bentley Martin. And we are watching storms rumbling across our region. These storms are loud, they're proud, they're likely producing 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts as we continue to track severe thunderstorms. Currently, we are fortunate in that we do not have any active tornado warnings, but again, we do have active severe thunderstorm warnings in progress across the local area. Much of Monroe County, including the city of Monroeville, is under a severe thunderstorm warning until 4 a.m. So again, a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for much of Monroe County, and that one is in effect until 4 a.m. That also does include a part of Conecuh County, areas near Repton, back up to places like Burnt Corn are involved in the active severe thunderstorm warning. And again, that one's going to be on the board until 4 a.m. So here's what I want to do. If you'll take me over to that graphic that I just queued up. I had to step off camera because our computer, I failed to put it in what we call presentation mode before I got on the air, and so had to get that up quickly. Here's the deal. If you've got hail falling at your house, or if you have hail tonight and into the morning hours, here's how we want you to report it. Please do not ever use marble size as a reference, because marbles vary in size. They can be, as tiny as a BB or as big as a ping pong ball. And I would bet that we've got quarter to $half size hail falling right now near Gainestown. We know it's hailing in Gainestown. We just had a report. But I bet it's probably in the neighborhood of quarter to $half sized hail. Let's go back over to the the radar scope source, please. As we continue to track these storms coming into Monroe County, there's your damaging straight line wind potential. And this is about to cross the Alabama River near Choctaw Bluff, coming into areas near Homewood, Iliska, and Purdue Hill along US Highway 84. Be inside and away from windows. Please don't be out driving. If you have to get to work at the very early morning hour of 3:30 a.m., I would just give it a minute in these areas. Let's give it 15 minutes, 20 minutes until this batch of storms passes through, and then you'll be able to drive in safety. We just don't want you to be out on a road and a tree falls down on you. That would be the worst possible thing that could happen if you're out driving in a storm like this. And so please just give it a minute. This is bad weather coming through, and so let's go back over to our LD1 source, please, and we'll show you that across the region at this moment, I do not see anything that suggests an imminent tornado threat. I do see several signs that we are having damaging straight line winds, and I did get a message a moment ago from the Weather Service that they're particularly concerned about this cell in southern Clark that appears to be rotating a bit more profusely compared to the previous few minutes anyway. So let's just keep it here. This is a night when, these tornado warnings just spin up very rapidly, all right? And I think that it's just prudent for us to kind of keep the coverage going. Normally, when we don't have a tornado warning, we go away, we get out of your hair, and we go back to covering storms in the Red Zone Weather app. But again, we're going to keep it here just for the next few minutes. See, we got a new severe thunderstorm warning back in Mississippi. That's not for us, that's for Mississippi. And again, 3:35 a.m., looking at this, the strongest storm in our region, there is zero doubt about it, is coming into Monroe County. And this storm is capable of producing damaging straight line winds, large hail, and deadly cloud to ground lightning. So again, everybody needs to be inside. and be away from windows, as these storms could be producing damaging straight line winds. By the way, if you see me, looking off camera, it's not that I'm ignoring you, but we've got 400,000 things, as I often say, going on here in terms of data to review. Bentley, you see any comments? And yeah, it's tough. 3:30 in the morning, hardly anyone is up, but we know folks are being impacted by this heavy weather very early on this Wednesday morning, as we continue to track these storms. Oh yeah, I appreciate that. We will go back up there. Look, because we don't have any active tornado warnings locally, we do have severe thunderstorm warnings, and we're going to keep covering those for the next few minutes anyway. I do want to shift gears and go back up to our storm in central Alabama, just to get your geographical bearings straight. This is Elmore County here. This is Coosa County. Tallapoosa County is here. This is Chambers County. This is Lee County, all right? And that's where Auburn is. This is you can kind of see what's happening here. This is a squall line that's developed, very heavy rain. No warnings associated with this squall line as of 3:37 a.m., but this tornadic supercell out ahead of the squall line is the one that has prompted a tornado warning for areas just to, in fact, you know what I say, just to the west. This includes the city of Tallahassee, Alabama, not Tallahassee, Florida. I'm not talking about Florida. I'm talking about Tallahassee, Alabama. This is at the base of Lake Martin, near the Martin Dam, and south of there, really. And that right there, look at that. That is a classic hook echo. I tell you what, this thing is going to make a beeline for the Maxwell Air Force Base radar. That could be really problematic. That thing is going to be right there on that radar site, and so I hope that tornado does not take that radar out. That has happened many times across the nation in our radar systems history. We've seen numerous hurricane and tornado strikes on these radars, and I tell you, that thing is making a beeline for that radar. Here's your possible tornado in Elmore County. Take me back over to the radar scope source. Possible tornado is right there on this source. It's right there on this source, and this is going to be coming into Tallahassee just like that. That dark circle that you see here, that is the radar, right? That's KMXX, and this tornado is going to cross that radar. And so hopefully what doesn't happen is the radar goes down as this goes over. But I tell you, I'm concerned because Auburn University is now only 32 miles away from this tornado, and that thing is tracking very near Auburn. And so if you want to, give him a call, and if you're a parent of a student on the campus of Auburn University, what I would do if I were in your shoes, again, I know it's 3:39 a.m. and I know a college student does not want to get this call, or nor does anyone, but call your college student and let them know that we're tracking a situation here where we have a likely tornado on the ground coming into Tallahassee that's making a beeline towards Auburn. Again, there is no tornado warning. There is no tornado warning at this point for any part of Lee County, but this cell is going to make a run at Auburn in the next, say, 30 to 45 minutes, really, as this approaches. The best case scenario with this would be that this squall line absorbs this tornadic supercell. That would kind of be the best case scenario. We will watch it, and we'll come back to that. If you'll take me back to LD1, I do want to show that reflectivity source one more time, because this is a tornado coming into Tallahassee, all right? If you know someone at Tallahassee, call them, wake them up. That thing is really wrapped up. Look at that. That is a very unique signature, and not to get all nerdy on you, but look at that. You can kind of see the spiral around the tornado. This is such a low-level scan right there. That is a tornado very near Tallahassee, coming into Tallahassee. So Tallahassee should be in a safe place. All clear from the imminent tornado risk in Wetumpka. By the way, same thing at Prattville. So again, the all clear has been given for Wetumpka and Prattville from the imminent tornado threat. severe thunderstorm warning. We have a new one. This is a new severe thunderstorm warning that has just come on the board, and this is going to be for Conecuh County. All of Conecuh County is now under a severe thunderstorm warning. That's going to be what you hear in the background as we have a new severe thunderstorm warning coming on the board for Conecuh. And that one's going to be on the board until, let's see what time that goes to, 4:45 a.m. So 4:45 a.m., new severe thunderstorm warning for Conecuh County, Alabama. And we are just delivering that message in the Red Zone Weather app as we have a new severe thunderstorm warning. Not a new tornado warning, but a new severe thunderstorm warning for Conecuh County. The Weather Service also including basically all parts of Monroe County in this new severe thunderstorm warning. And so let's go ahead and tell you who's involved in this first, because this is going to be a threat of damaging straight line winds coming into Monroeville in the next 10 minutes. All right, so next 10 minutes coming into Monroeville, we could have damaging straight line winds. And if you're in Monroeville, if you are in Peterson, if you're in Tunnel Springs, same thing at Uri, Goodway, Excel, Frisco City, Ollie, also areas near Mexie, Purdue Hill, Eliska, also areas near Scratch Ankle, areas near Axel, Old Scotland, all those areas that I just called out. You are involved in this new severe thunderstorm warning that's valid until 4:45 a.m. Damaging straight line winds are the main concern with this. And I tell you, we need to go back on the velocity view. Bentley, if you'll take me back in just a second to the radar scope source. I do want to look at this on the high-res velocity view because there is somewhat of a suspect area that I'm watching in northern Monroe County. That is a broadly rotating part of this thunderstorm north of Monroeville, out here over the red hills of northern Monroe County. Beautiful, beautiful country out in through here. Hilly roads, and it just makes you feel like you're in a mini mountain range. But this is a broad area of rotation that we need to watch over the next few minutes as this continues to push off to the east. Anytime you start seeing something like that, that could mean that we may start to see some more rotation. It's broad right now, thankfully, but nonetheless, we could have damaging straight line winds. And I tell you what, if you will, take me back over to LD1. I want to zoom out a bit and put this in motion while I step off camera briefly. I'm coming right back, but I need to take care of some technical housekeeping here because what we need to do is configure this where we can track that storm in central Alabama. We got a new tornado warning up there, not here, but we got a new tornado warning for parts of Tallapoosa and Macon counties, and that's going to butt right up to the Lee County line. And so again, the interest here is for the college students from our area in this area. And tell you what, Bentley, if you will take me over shortly, just give me a second to swivel this monitor around, because we're going to be able to track this together. Take me back over to LD2. I know we hadn't used that source tonight, but there's LD2, and anytime I say LD, by the way, that's live Doppler, right? So live Doppler source 2. Possible tornado at Tallahassee right now, and the Weather Service in Birmingham has triggered a new tornado warning for the far southern part of Tallapoosa and northern Macon counties here in central Alabama. Here's Auburn right here. So if you're in Auburn, you're okay as of now, as of 3:45 a.m., but just know that there is a likely tornado doing damage very near Tallahassee at this point. And so this is a serious situation. And looking at the velocities on this, there's a tornado right here, likely near Tallahassee, about to cross over into Tallapoosa County near the southern part where Lake Martin kind of drains out there into the river. Let's go back over to LD1, because again, technically that is out of our area, but I know that we've got a lot of interest in Auburn University, and even in this room, we've got a lot of interest in Auburn, and so we want to keep an eye on our students up there as well. Looking at LD1 here, we see that we have a new severe thunderstorm warning that we just talked about for parts of Conecuh, Monroe, and for southern Butler County. This is a storm that could be producing damaging straight line winds in the next 5 to 10 minutes near Monroeville, Frisco City, Excel, Uri, McGargle, and Goodway. All right, so damaging straight line winds are the concern in Monroe County at this point. And the good news is I don't really see anything that suggests imminent tornadoes being possible. The Weather Service noting over in Mississippi that these storms are producing considerable wind, and what they've done, they've actually upgraded this severe thunderstorm warning with a considerable tag, which means we could have upwards of 70 to 80 mile per hour winds coming into areas in parts of Stone and George counties over here in southeast Mississippi. Tell you what, I think we kind of need to just do kind of a quick reset here. Let me zoom out on our LD1 source. Sometimes it's difficult because we don't want to get so deep into the details that we forget the overall picture of what's happening here. And the overall picture is that we have a line of strong to severe thunderstorms currently working its way across really the southern half of Alabama at this point, extending from Valley and Lanett through Lake Martin, over to Rockford, Clanton, back over to Marion, back down to Demopolis. This part of the line is moving to the southeast, and it's really going to intersect that tornadic supercell that's currently moving into southern Tallapoosa County there in east central Alabama. Weather Service upping the warning in Mississippi, but right now they're going to keep this warning in Monroe County as a standard severe thunderstorm warning. And I hate using language like that because a standard warning is still a big deal, all right? So if you're in Monroeville, you need to be inside and away from windows. This is not a tornado warning, all right? Not a tornado warning, but it is a severe thunderstorm warning. And for folks that are asking, if you are in Linden or Selma or Camden, the severe weather risk is now much lower. It's not zero, but in this part of west central Alabama to the north, the air is much more stable because it's rain cooled, and much of the action is now to the south. And so Camden, Demopolis, Selma, Livingston, York, Butler, Gilbertown, all in much better shape compared to us farther south, as we have ongoing storms that could be producing damaging straight line winds in parts of Washington, Clark, and Monroe counties. Yeah, take me back to the radar scope source. This thing is making a beeline for that radar site. We're going to know pretty quick if there's a tornado down because, or something happening, damaging winds, as this is going to cross through the area in northern Macon County where the radar sits. This is KMXX, and this is not our local radar, but it is the local radar from Auburn and Montgomery. And this thing is just going to go right over the radar. And so hopefully there's not a tornado down, but with a signature like that, it looks like this could be a small, compact tornado that is doing damage on the southern side of Tallahassee, Alabama. That is the only tornado warning in the whole state, by the way. All right, so if you're in Tallahassee, that's the only tornado warning we've got in the whole state. And this does not include any part of Lee County, Alabama. Again, let's measure it out, just because I know we've got a lot of mamas watching that care about the students, moms and dads, I should say. This possible tornado is about 23 miles to the west-southwest of Auburn. And so we will see if Lee County goes under a tornado warning, because what's going to happen, this thing is racing along here at about 50 miles an hour, going to come into areas near the radar site and just north of Franklin over the next few minutes. We will see if the Weather Service in Birmingham decides to extend that tornado warning into the greater Auburn, Alabama area, including Auburn University. And so that certainly is a concern. Let's go back over to LD1 as we continue to track these loud and proud thunderstorms. Let's tell you what, let me kind of zoom out and put this in motion, because I do want to watch that lightning strike counter that's up there above the sponsor banner. And that seems to be trending down just a little bit over the last few minutes. It's kind of holding steady, really. But I was trying to see if that was going down to see an overall indication of the storm's strength across our region, but I really don't see any trend there at this point. Tornado watch does continue for all of our southwest Alabama counties until 6 a.m. local time. Yeah, getting some reports from Northwest Florida that they can see the lightning in the distance, and I'm not surprised by that. Our studio window faces south, and so we're actually facing the wrong direction to see the lightning, but I bet up north you can get a good light show off this, as we've got lots of lightning happening in the storms, particularly near Eliska coming into Monroeville. In fact, let's get pretty tight on Monroeville right now, because that is the area of main concern in our whole region right now. This is likely producing large hail up to the size of a quarter and damaging straight-line winds coming into Frisco City and McGargle out here towards the Monroe County Airport, out near Ollie, which sits right here. This is US Highway 84. Possible damaging straight-line winds going to be in the core of this thunderstorm, currently impacting Purdue Hill, pushing into Monroeville from the west. In the last few frames, I'm watching that storm up near Tallahassee. Good news is that tornado has, or possible tornado, has kind of faded a little bit. So hopefully that trend will continue. We'll watch it over the next few minutes. But the good news is that tornadic signature seems to be fading somewhat, which is a good thing. By the way, if you're in any part of Conecuh County, Alabama, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning due to this storm that's coming into Monroeville, and same thing in southern Butler, Georgiana, Grace, Garland, McKenzie, also areas near Chapman involved in a severe thunderstorm warning, valid until 4:45 local time. At this point, I want to go back over to the radar scope source, because what we're going to do here, we do not have any active tornado warnings in our part of Alabama, and because of that, our policy stipulates that anytime we have a tornado warning, we come on and stay on until the threat has gone. We had a tornado warning back in Washington County earlier. That is gone, but we have ongoing damaging straight-line winds being a concern. But because we don't have any active tornado warnings, I do want to go back to covering these storms in the Red Zone Weather app in just a bit. Take me back over to the radar scope source, please, ma'am, because we do have a long line of thunderstorms right in through here, basically extending from Washington County back here near Deer Park and Vinegar Bend all the way over to Monroeville, and damaging straight-line winds are possible in all three of these counties: Washington, Clark, Monroe, and soon to be Conecuh and Butler, as this line continues moving across our local area. Let's go back over to LD1. And we'll put this in motion to show you that we had a tornado warning earlier in Washington County. That is gone. We have an ongoing tornado watch across the region. Wouldn't be surprised to see that extended into Northwest Florida. But the big story right now is these severe thunderstorms extending from southeast Mississippi all the way up to Monroeville and areas approaching Greenville over the next few minutes. On behalf of all of us at Red Zone Group LLC, I'm meteorologist Spinks Meganson, joined alongside Bentley Martin, saying goodbye for now. We'll be back if we have more tornado warnings. Next forecast video will be posted at 8 a.m., not 7 a.m. We're going to delay it by 1 hour today and post it at 8 a.m. to let all these storms clear out of our area. We'll have the latest then. Thank you so much for watching. And again, if we have more warnings, we'll come straight back on the live feed to bring you the very latest. Have a good Wednesday morning.
Be sure to find us across social media, and don't forget to download the free Red Zone Weather app and set up your customized alerts. Please support our Red Zone Weather sponsors who make our coverage possible every single day.